what you're gonna want is for the hot chocolate is Swiss Miss, Hershey's Cocoa, whole milk, a microwavable safe cup, and stuffed puffs marshmallows. I'll tell you in a little bit why this is better than basic marshmallows. Okay, so what you're gonna want to do, you want to fill your glass up to, depending on how much hot chocolate. If you want a half cup, that's fine. Or a third. I went with a third because this is a lot of hot cocoa in this glass, so that's all. Okay, so now this step right here is pretty dangerous if you're under the age of at least 15 or 14. So if your parents, if you unless you use like really hot objects in the microwave anyway, I'd recommend you having your parents do this step for you. But you basically, if depending on how much milk, of course, you add in it, the longer it might take. But I would recommend doing only 10-second intervals per time. And then once you touch the glass, if the glass is hot, then it's ready. Okay, so for this step, what you want to do, you want to take your Swiss Miss or whatever hot cocoa powder you use, and then you're going to want to take a pretty big spoon, just like a medium spoon, and get a big, get a whole scoop of it, and then pour that into the hot cocoa. Get some bitterness with your Swiss Miss hot chocolate, then just get an IKEA spoon or a baby spoon or whatever, and scoop out a tiny portion of Hershey's Cocoa. And then what you want to do with that tiny portion, you're only going to want to pour like half of the tiny portion you put in onto the little spoon. You put either cocoa into the milk, you stir it up, and then you want to stir it up into the to make it until it gets into like a milky chocolate sort of like thing. But and then you can always taste it if you feel like it's going to be too unsweet or too sweet, and you can change it up a little bit if you want or not. Do not use the same spoon you're stirring up with to pour the extra hot cocoa in. You gotta use different spoons. You can't. You gotta use one spoon for the Swiss Miss. You gotta use one spoon for the the Hershey's chocolate. Do not use the same one for everything. If you find that your hot chocolate is getting a little cool, I'd microwave it for like 10 seconds. That's about it. Don't microwave it too much, or you'll have like the same burning effect that normal hot chocolate does. Decide if you need to microwave it or not. You take 2 marshmallows, or 1, depending on how big your the cup you're using is, how big it is. Then if it's like a tinier one, use 1 marshmallow. If it's like the size of mine, use 2. You want to keep the marshmallows as they are, the texture normal. Just leave them in the hot chocolate. But if you want to have a little more like a s'more texture, do microwave them for like 10 to 15 seconds. Time might be different for different microwaves, but for mine it was still only 15 seconds. You carefully get your cup out of the microwave because it'll be definitely a little hot. You can stir up the marshmallows. You want to break them apart, or you can give them whole if you want. With a straw, if you don't have any straws, you can just use a spoon to drink it, or just use your just drink it with your drink it like you're drinking coffee or milk or whatever. But it probably might be a little too hot. The glass might be a little still hot. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial on how to make pretty good hot chocolate. You can always add whipped cream if you want, but I just don't have any.